What's going on, y'all? Tonight, I'm going to have a special guest. Conversation is all about the amazing work Amea Love is doing. She calls herself the retreat expert, and she's also a nurse. So, yes, homegirl has it going on. Okay, let's get into it. So,
Okay.
many people think about a retreat as like a getaway, like this tropical destination, or just like leaving all the worries behind. But what I love about your brand is that you go deeper with it. It's not just this surface level, oh, let's escape. And, it's just not, that's not the only thing. You don't just leave it to that. It's not just an escape. But I would say you have like this whole renewal vibe, like this whole revitalization vibe. But I want to hear from you. What exactly does it mean to retreat?
Okay, so to retreat to us in this brand and how we kind of like how it was given to me, the vision was given to me was how a lot of times in this world, culture tells us to hustle. Culture tells us that we got to get it. We got to do it. Culture tells us we have to be strong Black women all of the time. There's no time for us to let our guards down. And I decided to just bring retreating. I decided just to bring retreating as a lifestyle, right? I want women to be able to intentionally take time out for themselves on a daily, whether that is a destination retreat or whether it's retreating in their own home. It's just always taking that time away intentionally to be able to just kind of like dive into things that you're going through, maybe to make a decision, maybe to heal from something. And we just basically just made it come to life from there. So retreating to us means to create intentional space for you every single day. And we really want people to use this underutilized self-care tool, because a lot of times when people think of a retreat, they think of vacation, and they are not the same. Retreating is for you to go away intentionally, to be able to get an answer, to be able to get refreshed, revitalized, renew, to retreat anything that's broken in your life. That is what a retreat means to us versus vacation. So what we want to do is to create a whole culture of men and women, actually, in whether you're a leader, whether you're a career professional, whether you're an entrepreneur, just really shifting that narrative that you have to self-sacrifice in order to service others, and really pour into taking that time away daily to retreat yourself so that you can go out and do your purpose effectively.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
It's so much deeper, like you said, like so much deeper than just the vacation. And that's why when we met, like our visions definitely aligned, because I'm for that type of like that shift of not just falling into this hustle culture, not just, becoming this person that's all about work, all about just pushing through, all about just like doing all these things to show up for everyone else and forget about themselves. And I love that you get deeper with this retreat branding. It's a whole movement. It's not just, oh, we're going to go on a vacation. You're actually like, let's get quiet. That's what I hear you saying. Let's get quiet. Let's gain some clarity. And tell me more about the retreat. And I posted it in my stories because I loved that spin. Like, it's not just retreat, it's retreat that brokenness, so you can heal. So what about retreating? How do you retreat a broken?
So when you think of the word retreat, right, it means that you are over and over again treating yourself, right? Retreat yourself is our thing. Retreat yourself so that you can heal. A lot of us are really dealing with a lot of issues as far as brokenness. Maybe you are unhappy in your career. Maybe you're in a toxic relationship that you want to get out of. Maybe there's some traumas that you have not yet overcome. Maybe you're dealing with depression. Maybe you're dealing with, anxiety. you can retreat yourself. You know what I mean? By creating a safe space for you to be able to just pour out all of the things that you are dealing with so that you can, recharge. And in the end, it's a level of surrender, because a lot of the reasons why we are so stressed out and, so overwhelmed is because we have to be in control of everything. And I'm a firm believer in my relationship with God is like, you have to fully surrender your life. And so anything and everything that's supposed to happen for you will happen for you. So you don't have to be in a rush for everything. It just kind of slows you down. And so you can get a better perspective of your life, clarity, balance, anything that you need, because a lot of times we are injuring ourselves by making hasty decisions all of the time. We're injuring ourselves and not really thinking out what we're supposed to be doing, not having a clear vision, re-injuring ourselves because we're in, certain environments all of the times. And so we have to shift that and start to retreat ourselves with, that time away time away with ourselves, right? Whatever our higher power is, whatever we need to be able to be recharged and be fulfilled, because I'm a firm believer that everybody on earth has a purpose, right? And we are here to fulfill that. But at the same time, I think that we should really concentrate on being effective and whatever that may be. If your purpose is to be a mom, if your purpose is to be a career professional, if your purpose is to be a leader, I think that you should maximize that and be able to be effective in anything you're doing, and not just like wasting time and like putting unnecessary burdens on you that you really don't have to do. And so in the retreat culture, we believe in just relaxing, refocus, revitalizing, and allowing to whatever is for us to come to us, and we're not chasing anything.
I love that.
Yeah.
Getting back to that, revamping, like just redoing everything, like unlearning, relearning, doing things differently. And I feel like that's what you're really like setting the tone for with this retreat brand. And it's so powerful. So how do you think, just going back to the hustle culture that you talked about earlier, and the brokenness, and how a lot of times, professionals, people that tend to work really hard and hustle, like how does that lead to brokenness? Does the brokenness come first, or is it the hustle culture that comes first? Like, and how does your brand specifically help people shift? What are the things that you are doing with the retreat brand to help people shift?
So for the first question, I think that the brokenness always comes first. To me, I feel like a lot of times when we do get into the hustle culture, it's because we want to bury or really not deal with a lot of the things that we're going through. So we use it as like a cover up. So it's like a temporary gratification type of deal. So instead of healing from the breakup and just taking time away, we'll put ourselves in a career like even deeper. So now we're working 67 hours not to be able to really process like what happened, what was going on. We, want to, do all of these things except deal with us. And so what Retreat Girls, our brand, it just causes you to kind of slow down, and we have a safe space where women can pour out to whatever it is that they're dealing with. But first, creating that safe space is really important, right? We just want you to slow down first. If you could just slow down and take that time out for yourself, you can get in a group setting where you have other women that are the problem solvers, because the majority of the people that are attached to Retreat Girls are the CEOs. They are the professionals. They are the ministry leaders. They are the people that people usually go to for answers, and they are always the solution, but they are not the solution for themselves. So, when we just create safe environments for you guys, for people just to be able to slow down, get in an environment where they feel safe enough to pour out whatever they are going through, because my motto is, nothing that is covered up will heal. And in order for you to heal, you have to be able to be in a safe space to be able to expose those things. So never in a time will you be able to come to a Retreat Girl event where people are just talking. No, you have to be able to do the work and be able to have that courage to be transparent and say, hey, this is where I am, because, you cannot, I always say God cannot heal who you pretend to be. And you have to actually be in that space no matter what it is, because a lot of people are pretending to be in certain places when emotionally they're broken. And it's okay that you're a CEO and broken. It's okay that you are a career professional or whatever purpose that you're in, that you are broken, because it's only up from where you are. But you can't put on a mask every day and pretend to be where you're not, because all you're doing is fooling yourself and hurting yourself. And so retreat girls want to be able to create an environment where people don't have to pretend. That's why we do, going into the spa parties, because you're your authentic self. You don't have to dress up. You don't have to do anything. If you think about it, when you go to a spa, you're completely naked, right? You are no makeup. You're just raw you. We don't want you to have a dress up brunch, because then you can pretend again. And we don't want you to pretend, because we want you to be able to embrace exactly where you are, be able to get clarity and find an action plan on, okay, now that I identified this, when I leave here, how do I move forward in healing this? And so that is the kind of environments that retreat girls, create. And every woman speaks. The transparency is amazing. And I'm so proud of all of the women that do come to the events and the things that we throw, because they're able to be transparent in a safe space, and they're bold enough to say, I don't want to pretend no more. I'm not going to keep filling myself up with unnecessary space. I'm going to get in this space where a group of women are and really honestly tell them and be honest with myself of where I am and how do I get out of this to move forward to be able to heal in my life.
Oh, I love that. It's so powerful. And what I hear you saying is like vulnerability. You create this space for authenticity, for genuineness, and being able to be vulnerable. And my girl, Brene Brown, she talks about vulnerability, as a leader, leading with that, being your true self. So I love Brene Brown when she talks about vulnerability and being a leader. But going back to what you said, like, I totally identify with just, putting on the mask. And that's why I wanted you to come on here and speak to the nurse wellness community, because being a nurse, sometimes you can hide behind that mask. You can hide behind that, like, oh, I got it together. I'm a nurse. I'm a professional. I know all the healthy things. I know how to treat my patients. I know how to take care of them. But when it comes to our own self-care, our own health, we can be lacking. We can just be putting it off to the back burner. And it's very hard for nurses to ask for help. It's very hard for us to be like, oh, I'm the one that needs to like ask for help, or say, hey, I need a day off, ask for PTO, or to be like, let me take a mental health day. It's so hard for us because we are driven maybe by some brokenness. Me personally, I wanted to prove that I was a good person, that I was a good enough person. So I worked so hard. And in the end, I ended up burning out. And so I am like, where was the retreat girls when I needed it? But, everything happens at the right time. And I'm so glad that we got to meet up, because I'm excited talking about that. What really helped me, like you were saying, getting back to this nakedness, taking off the mask, getting back to the basic foundations. That's what really helped me get out of the burnout. Getting back to my basic foundations of self-care, taking off the mask, getting real with Fallon. What do I need right now? Getting back to those foundations of self-care, nutrition, fitness, mental health. And then I was able to see, okay, this is what I need. This is where I need to go. This is how my career, but things are still evolving. You're never going to have it right. So I think you just have to keep going. No, you're fine. Go ahead.
I think people are afraid of the stillness. In that stillness, because they have to deal anytime you are still, then you have to deal with you. And the world has so many distractions that we can consume ourselves in, but ourselves. And anytime you take away those things, there is an amazing level of clarity that people have no idea. Like, it's just like, you can't get a message to a moving target. But if you sit still long enough and not worry about the comparison of your nurse manager or this person's accolades and all what they're doing, and you're so focused, you focus on you, because your journey is going to be different from everybody else's journey. You know what I mean? But you have to be okay with that level of surrender. Nobody's okay with surrendering, because when you surrender it and say, oh, you know what, I am not in control of this, but I'm going to take some time back and I'm going to really evaluate where I am. And I'm going to ask God or whoever you believe in to be able to lead and guide me, and whatever it is that I need to do, that's a whole nother level. But we want to take it into our own hands and we want to control it. And so that's the anxiety and the stress and the comparison, and all of this starts to kick in, and then you just like running yourself ragged, like you said, burned out. So now you're in this position of leadership, you're not effective at all. And it's like, you got to think about it. Your journey is going to last for a very long time. So what do you do every day? Retreat yourself, replenish yourself daily, not just a monthly thing. This is not a monthly thing. Like, oh, just go on vacation for, a week and I come back. No, that's not it. You have to constantly keep retreating yourself every single day so that you can last through the whole journey. You got to endure through the whole journey.
That is so real. I love it, for sure. And I loved how you talked about the surrender. I'm sorry, were you going to add something else? You said,
No, I was good.
And surrendering, nurses, we don't do well. We control it all. We control when the patient goes, where they do, how the doctor shows up. When, we control so much moving parts. We bring it all together. That's what we're good at. But when it comes to our own health and well-being, it can be so hard. It can be hard to lay it all down and be like, look, I don't know it all. I don't have all of the things, together, or, I'm lacking here. I'm lacking in my health. I'm lacking in my mental. I'm lacking in my social, my environmental health. That's what I love about wellness. It just brings it full circle. And when I hear you talk about retreat girls, I'm like, this is definitely a practice. This is a lifestyle. This is a whole movement. Retreating every day, not just like taking that one long vacation once a year, because that's what I used to do, and just come back and then expect for you to keep going. No, you have to retreat, being intentional. So that leads me to my next question. So say somebody, doesn't have a lot of money and they're like, okay, how do I retreat? What are some tips that you can give somebody that's listening, watching right now? How can I retreat every day? What are some things that we can do today to help us get into that mind frame of healing, revitalization, renewal, so that we can really have clarity on who we are and what impact we want to do?
Wow, I'm glad that you asked that. And that's why I say this is a underutilized self-care tool that we should be using often. And Retreat Girls is here to inspire, educate, and really, really show people how to retreat often. You can create a retreat oasis in your own home every day. When you feel like you need that time, light a candle, get your journal out. Get that quiet time and get still. You can go on a nature retreat. You can get your shoes on and go on a hike with your journal and pray and meditate or whatever. You can retreat in your car. Okay, I retreat in my car every single day. That's that time where when I get off of work, before I get in the house to the family or whatever, that's my time to I sit in I don't know why, the car, everybody does it in the car. People be sleeping on the car. You turn your car off and you just be able to just, retreating your car, retreating your car and just being in that silence and that stillness. And I think when you're in those moments, the question that you should be asking yourself, I am here. I am struggling with this today. We don't do that because we're on autopilot. How are you? I'm fine. How are you today? I'm good. But, so you got to pretend. That's that pretending again. So when you're in those spaces of those retreating with yourself, you're asking yourself the hard questions. Where am I today? You know what? Today, I feel like it wasn't a good day. It was bad. I feel like I'm in a space where my attitude really sucked today. How do I get here? Or I feel like this coworker is really working my nerves, or these patients are really, whatever it is, you're asking yourself those questions. It's not enough just to be still. It's to be able to process those emotions and whatever you're going through and being honest. Because if I were to be honest, as being a healthcare professional, it is very rewarding. But a lot of times it's really, really challenging. And we're taught to just suck it up. But all that does is just keep burying stuff over and over again. So you have to get with yourself and I'm like, should I have treated that patient like that today? Could I have like did it a better way? I'm struggling because, I really want to elevate in my career. I want to go to another specialty, but I'm stuck here in this specialty, God. Like, how do I elevate to another specialty? What do I need to do those things? So those are the questions that you're asking yourself when you're retreating, and don't just ignore it. We ignore like, oh, it's just a part of nursing. That's what it is. Like, it'll just pass. No, intentionally write those things down. Keep a mental note. Where am I right now? I'm late all the time. Like, I want to be on time. Like, how do I develop? How do I retreat those broken areas in my life so that I can elevate? You know what I mean? And so you can do it at home. You can do it at a park. I would say really take that time and, you can get yourself a blanket and some food at the park, and you can just sit there with your journal and your music, get you a good music. I call it a music therapy playlist, and just get it all out. You know what I mean? And so that's all the ways that you can retreat. If you don't want to have to go on a, retreat across the world or whatever, you can do those little subtle things at home that will allow you. And we definitely have our retreat journal that's going to be dropping soon that will guide you through, I'm struggling with this. What was the outcome? And really holding you accountable to retreat often as you need in order to heal.
Yes, that is so, like, I want to do all of those things. Like, I just want to go, like, in the car. Y'all, if you are not writing notes, if you are not taking things down, making a mental note, put it in your phone. In the car, I can see this working for busy moms that they're like, I don't know when to get my quiet time in. I can't get it in the morning, because my kids wake up with me. Okay, do it during the day when you get home. Get your quiet time in the car. I love that. So simple, so straight to the point, so realistic. Like,
yeah. And we're gonna, that's why, Retreat Girls is really providing those tools and resources and products for you to be able to, have those retreats and make it seamless for you. So it is not nothing that's complicated. We're trying to create everything that we can to be able to accommodate people in, their retreating journey so that they can retreat daily with the tools that they need to do that. So
yeah, it's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
It's a whole shift that you have to do. Like we've been saying, it's not just this one and done healing. Boom, I'm good. I'm not insecure no more. I am all good. I am confident at all times. I know what I want. No, it's a daily journey. Like, this is something that I struggle with, insecurity about not knowing enough, not being enough. And so for me, I have to daily slay those enemies, every day. And I have to retreat. I have to do my journaling. I have to do my affirmations. And that's something that you're so big on. And I love that you share it on your social media. Y'all, if you are not following Amea on her Retreat Girls page, she's the Retreat Girls on Instagram and the Retreat Girl as well, her personal page as well. We tried to do an Instagram earlier, but we're going to have to do another one later. But
yes,
we had to bring this exclusive look at Retreat Girls here in the nurse wellness community. I just want to go back to having those conversations, those conversations with yourselves, like while you're in the car, while you're in the park. Yes, it's beautiful. We're enjoying it. We're taking deep breaths. We're taking in the scenery, but we're actually doing work. Like you said, going back to the vacationing. Yeah, we enjoy it. We like the getaway, but we're doing intentional work, asking those hard questions and being okay with it. So what would you say to somebody that's like, I'm uncomfortable with, I don't have time. I can't really get quiet, Fallon. Like, how do you meditate? Like, my mind is racing. I don't know what to do. Like, what kind of questions do I ask myself? Like, what would you say to somebody that's struggling with getting quiet? What are some tips that you would leave them?
First of all, I want to say that you make time for what's important to you. And if you're not important to you, then you won't make time for you. But then you need you in order to endure the journey. And so I'm just going to say that right now, right? We're in a space in our life where it's just no excuses for no time for me. We have to get out of that mindset, that culture, because our bodies, our minds, our spirit is what's going to carry us through the purpose in life. And if we don't take the time to be able to treat it, then it will fail us. So I'll just say that. So for those people, that's just that.
Let it be known. I love it. I love it.
So for those of us who say that we don't have time, we actually do. You do have time. You have time when you shift your mindset of what's important to you. Then you open up the time to be able to treat yourself. But I would say just really start doing some elimination of things that is unnecessary, like social media. If you look at your time, how much time you spend with the phone in your hand and on social media, the screen time, that may be 2-3 hours of the day that you could have had in order to treat yourself or be able to pour into yourself. So I would just say really being mature enough to start really taking inventory of our time and stop using that "I don't have no time" excuse. And I hate to be harsh, but it's just reality. And the reason why I say that is because I had to check myself on that. Do I really not have time? Or is it that I can find other things that I can eliminate out of my life in order to make me better? Because I started to really think of myself as valuable. And if I'm valuable, then I need to be able to, it's not enough to just say you're valuable. You have to be able to pour into yourself and really taking that time and evaluate. Can brunch, it's that sacrifice. Sometimes you have to make those healthy sacrifices. One of the things that I've been really teaching my community is that people have gotten into this culture where they think that sacrifice is some praise that's supposed to get you to the next level. But there's a such thing as healthy sacrifice and unhealthy sacrifice. When you are, use an example, when you have a 5 a.m. Interview set, the sacrifice healthy would be for you to go to bed earlier so that you can be refreshed to be able to show up for the interview. The culture tells us, no, go to bed late, run off of 3 hours of sleep, and then show up. And then that shows you like, oh, you grinding it out. Oh, you sacrificing for your purpose. That makes no sense at all. So we have to start learning the difference between healthy sacrifices and unhealthy sacrifices. And some of the things, if we take inventory of our daily life, don't even need to be. We can take that time that we spent that 2 hours on social media and take that time to be able to retreat and hold back. We can take that time that we spend cackling on the phone with our girlfriends for an hour about nothing to exercise. And so when I started to think about my life like that and learning how to be a good steward over my time, because I don't want to squander my gift that God has placed me on here to do, and really starting to really like evaluate what should go and stay in my life, because people always equate it to people, and it's not necessarily people, it's things that we consume ourselves with every day. We have all the time in the world.
Drop the gems. Look, okay, no more excuses. Like, you don't have any more excuses after listening to that. If you're still on here, you're watching, you're listening to us on the replay, there you will make priority what's important to you, period.
You will.
I just want to just say that one more time for those that missed it in the back. You sitting here like, well, Fallon, I don't have time. Like, I don't have energy. I can't do it. Like, do you prioritize yourself? Having those healthy sacrifices. And people think that, making different choices, making time for this, making time for that is taking away from their life, when actually you're adding to your life. You're adding more energy. You're adding more confidence. You're adding more fuel to your body so that you can do the things that you need to do. So I love that you're, talking about these healthy sacrifices, that, we make a priority. You get to choose. We all get to choose what we do with the 24 hours in our day. And making those healthier choices, thinking about the future you, like you said, that 5 a.m. interview. How do I want to feel there? Instead of just, I'm just here. I'm just in the now. This is good too, being in the present, but having a lot of mindsets shifts around in the future you, and taking care of the future you and what you want to look like and how you want to show up in the world. I think that's so powerful. Amea, wow. Like, this whole conversation, y'all. Okay. So last question.
Okay.
What are the spa parties? Tell us about that.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So we just started our signature spa parties. I'm so excited about it. So the spa parties give you just a space to be able to get a treatment. So you will go to a spa like you're going to treat yourself. So you get an actual physical treatment. After the treatment, then, you know, we have food and then we come around and then that's where the real talk session begins. Our real talk sessions are life transformational. I'm not even gonna lie. Every time I get in a circle of different women, I always learn something new every single time and never ceases to amaze me. What it does though, me being a leader, it takes me being bold enough to be transparent about my life, my struggles, and really being open and honest. And then once I do that, it just really creates a like ripple effect of women just being able to be bold enough to do that. And so being that every month that, you know, like I said, we pay a phone bill every month, we pay for whatever we pay for every month, just really taking that time out to actually retreat ourselves and get in a space where we can pour out and be able to get poured into, also be able to get, you know, treatments and stuff like that. It's so amazing. It's so revitalizing. And I've, you know, hear all the time from women when they come back, it's just like, oh my God, this is like such a life transformational experience. Like, oh my God, I never, you know, did anything like this for myself. When is the next one? And I was like, okay, well, we just do them monthly if this is what you guys want to do. And so the spa parties are just a time for women to come. And we'll be having men retreat too. That's going to be coming soon because there's so many resources for women to be able to be empowered that we're forgetting about our men. Our men are working for families. They're providing, they're doing all this. They're broken as well. And they need a space to be able to come and be poured into as well. And so we have the retreat girls, and then we also have men retreat too. That's going to be dropping soon where they're able to do the same thing. And I'm like just so elated to be able to facilitate that and create that environment for men as well.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. I love that you are creating these safe spaces for men or for women and men, of course, bringing it all full circle because we need each other. You know, we complement each other. Women can create those safe spaces for men creating those safe spaces for women, and, you know, just complementing each other and helping each other grow. It takes a community. So I just love that you're pouring in that way. And even just setting up these safe spaces, like you said, you have to be transparent and, you know, being the leader, that takes a lot as well. So last question, what are some ways that you retreat? I know you said in the car, are there any like morning routines? What are some things that you do just for you? Being the leader, giving so much to others, you know, I understand that as well. So what are some things that you do just for you?
You know what? One of the things that I literally stand by is a woman's biggest flex is knowing when to rest. So I definitely, when I get to a point where I feel like I'm half empty, is when I go away and I retreat. No business, no, nothing that I am doing is more important than myself. So there are times where I set boundaries around, a lot of boundaries around myself. So if I retreat often, Fallon, I ain't even gonna lie, that it's a part of my daily routine. In the mornings between 6 a.m. and 10 a.m., my phone is on do not disturb. And I usually do not work after 10. And I have trained people not to call me around that time, family, friends, or whatever, unless it's an emergency. And it's so crazy to the point where my friends is like, dang, I couldn't wait till after 10 a.m. to call you because, you know, it's just being verbal about to my support system about where I am. And the only way I did that was to retreat, right? And really think about all of the things that was in my life that was unnecessary. How am I going to be able to create that time for myself? So I don't even start working until after 10 o'clock on my business or anything. And so, sometimes when I'm getting like super overwhelmed, like this week we had the spa party. Anytime after I do something like that, to that capacity, it was 15 women. I'm carrying 15 different things that people have going on. And, you know, this weekend I'll just go offline, you know what I mean? And just go do a staycation. And that's another form of retreating. You can get you a room and I just lay down, sleep, you know, get my worship music on. I have my Bible. I will like meditate. I got my journal. I do all those things. But just to be honest, I retreat every day as necessary. I always have to stop in the mornings and before I get my day started, to have that time to be able to flow throughout the day. And sometimes I do it in the evening as well. So I guess it just doesn't matter. It's not like a set routine, morning routine, but it's just whenever I feel like I need to rest, I rest. And that's my biggest flex. I'm like, okay, I need to rest. That's it.
Yes. And it takes intentionality. It takes being really self-aware. And that just comes with practice. Like we've been talking about this whole time, you know, hustle culture, our society, our, you know, just our upbringing can have us on this like push through mode, like just keep going, you know, just whatever you're feeling, just continue to keep going, even if you're tired. So a lot of us don't know, like, hey, we're tired. We need rest, not only just sleeping, but resting. And so I just hear you saying a lot of self-awareness and just taking time for you. That's beautiful. It's a really beautiful thing to really genuinely rest. Not just, but disconnect. That's a good one. Disconnecting.
I think I have gotten more when I was chasing the bag and chasing the promotion and chasing, I literally wore myself out. But I think when I got into that level of surrender and was like, okay, well, I'm going to put it into perspective. How do I move forward? I actually had a plan, a clear vision. You know, when you're going through life without a clear vision, you tend to go down avenues that you're not supposed to. So now you're just wearing yourself out, going through detour after detour after detour after detour. When you retreat back and you get a clear vision, oh, you on a whole nother level, because now you coasting, you sailing, and you're not jet skiing through the ocean. You sailing, then you just like, oh, okay,
go further, man.
You endured through the journey. And I think for me, I just like you said, I'm very self-aware, and I'm not even gonna lie. I've learned so much and received so much and put myself in a position to be able to receive so much that attracted me, not chasing, than ever before. So many opportunities, so many of all these things, just really as a woman operating in my femininity as well. Like, and not in that masculine energy, just always trying to do stuff. And now when I'm in a grocery store and a gentleman or whoever say, you need help with, yes, I need help. You know, instead of just like, oh no, I don't need no help. Like, yeah, I need help. Can you get that box for me? Oh, thank you. That's so nice. Like, I'm receiving that help. And that's where we have to get to.
Yes, that is where the catalyst comes, when you can combine with somebody else and not just, oh, I got this on my own. Oh, I have it on my own. I got it all together. Like really building those catalyst movements to really push you further, to go further. And I hear you saying a lot about like strategy, sitting back, getting that strategy, that download, like you said, from God, taking some time to yourself, getting those strategies downloaded to you. And it's just like an everyday thing. It's like a complete surrender every morning. And I definitely agree with that. I love that. I mean,
that surrender is amazing. That download, that clarity is everything. If you think about it, if you're going to a destination and you don't know where you're going, you will frustrate yourself trying to find the directions. But when you have a clear vision and you go straight shot, so much simpler and so much easier, and it's less effort.
We're trying to go into this with ease. We're not just like stressing ourselves out. We put in the effort. We doing the things. We are doing the effort, but we're not controlling the outcome. We going into this with ease. We flowing into this with ease. And that was just my word recently. So I had to share that for sure. Just that ease, you know, really. And that helps protect us from dis-ease as well. So that's just something that I wanted to share real quick, y'all. But look, this lady is a amazing, amazing resource. Make sure you go follow her, go support the Retreat brand and attend one of these retreats. I'm going, so I want to see you there. Your face in a place. Amea, again, I love you. Thank you so much for hopping on and always being a supporter of the nurse wellness community. And I as well support everything that you're doing. Any last words before we hop off?
No, I just want to say thank you for the opportunity to be on the show. It was just really, really, really amazing to be able to share the vision. I am so passionate about women and men just being refocused, revitalized, recharged. Because man, it's like, y'all, we have a purpose here on this earth. And I want us to be effective. I want us to be equipped. I want us to be able to last through the journey, to be able to touch people's lives in whatever way that we can touch people's lives. But I think it just starts with us making no excuses and making that time for us, and really being able to just continue to retreat yourself. And it doesn't matter how many times you got to retreat yourself. You don't give up. You do it all the way until you get it right. Whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you want to advance in your career, I don't care what it is, like however long it takes you to get it right, you withdraw and get a clear plan, and you get out there and do it however many times it takes for you to be able to get it right. And so I just want to just encourage you guys just to continue doing that.
Oh, I love it. Thank you so much for coming on, and we'll see you next time. Thank you, love.
Bye.
Bye. Y'all, if you missed out, go back, watch us on the replay. The podcast is coming soon. Of course, we're going to have this episode up on the You Glow Nurse podcast. All of the gems, all of the wonderful shifts. Like Amea, she's an amazing soul, and I just appreciate her and love her for her genuineness and for her authenticity and just for creating spaces, y'all. That's what we want to do. And I feel like that's why our vision aligns so much. We're talking about creating spaces, getting real, getting authentic, getting back to the basics of self-care. What do we need? Asking ourselves those hard questions and not being afraid. It's okay to have maybe no answers, but continuing that journey, continuing to pour into yourself, and just continuing to, keep showing up. It doesn't matter as long as you are showing up, like she said, putting in the work and doing the things that you need. And we're here to support you inside of the Nurse Wellness community. As always, feel free to shoot me a DM if you have any questions, any comments about anything that we talked about tonight. I'm here to support you. Make sure you go check out Amea Love on the Retreat Girls site on Instagram as well. And I will see you next time, y'all. Have a wonderful evening. Take care. Bye.